What if I told you that age-related memory loss is actually a myth we tell ourselves? The truth is, your brain can be sharper at 60 than it was at 30. This isn't motivation. This is science. You've probably heard a joke like this at a family gathering. "Oh, Dad's having another senior moment." Or maybe you've started to worry when you misplace your keys, thinking, is this the beginning of the end? For decades, we've just accepted the idea that getting older must mean becoming forgetful, thinking slower, and struggling to learn new things. This belief is so strong, it feels like an undeniable law of nature. But here's the most dangerous part. This belief works like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Imagine this. If a farmer is convinced his soil is barren, will he bother to till the land, add fertilizer, and water it every day? Of course not. And as a result, the soil truly becomes barren. Our brain is exactly the same. When we believe our minds will weaken, we stop giving them fertilizer and water. We stop trying to learn new things because, what's the point? I'm too old. We stop challenging ourselves with puzzles or complex discussions. We surrender. And it's because of that surrender that our brains truly lose their edge, not because of age, but because of neglect. So, what does modern science have to say? It offers a radically optimistic answer. The answer lies in one key word that will change the way you see aging forever: neuroplasticity. It sounds complex, but the concept is incredibly simple. Neuro means nerve, and plastic means moldable or flexible. So, neuroplasticity is the brain's amazing ability to keep changing, adapting, and forming new connections throughout our entire lives. The easiest way to understand it is to think of the brain as a muscle. If you consistently hit the gym and lift weights, your bicep gets bigger and stronger, right? But if you stop completely for a year, that muscle shrinks. The brain works exactly like that. Activities like learning a new language, trying a complex recipe, playing a musical instrument, or even just taking a different route home from work, that's all lifting weights for your brain. Every time you do that, you're commanding your brain cells to build new footpaths. The more you use them, those paths turn into paved roads and eventually into superhighways. This is why when a 70-year-old decides to learn the piano, their brain physically changes. The connections between their neurons become denser and stronger. So this is no longer about preventing damage, it's about building new strength. Okay, so our brains can be trained. But is a senior brain the same as a young brain? The answer is no, and that's precisely where its power lies. A senior brain might not be lightning fast at memorizing 10 new names in 5 minutes. But it has something far more valuable: crystallized intelligence. Imagine this comparison. A young brain is like a brand new smartphone with a blazing fast processor, but its memory is empty. It can open apps in a flash. A senior brain is like a supercomputer that's been running for 60 or 70 years. Maybe its processor isn't the latest model, but its hard drive is packed with priceless data, experiences, patterns, and complex programs. This is the supercomputer that can see the big picture, solve complicated family conflicts, give profound business advice, and understand the nuances of human emotion that an empty brain simply can't process. Speed might decrease slightly, but depth and wisdom increase dramatically. So, we have to stop seeing the senior brain as a broken-down computer. We need to start seeing it as a vast library where every book is a priceless life lesson. So, what does all this mean for you, for your parents, or for your own future? By understanding this, you'll walk away with 3 treasures. First, freedom from fear. You'll be free from the biggest anxieties about aging: the fear of losing your mind, of becoming a burden, of losing your identity. This video gives you permission to be optimistic. The future isn't a cliff of decline, it's a new mountain peak to be climbed. Second, a map and a compass for action. You're no longer lost. You now have a map, the understanding of neuroplasticity, and a compass, the awareness that you are the navigator. You'll know that challenging your mind, not just with crosswords, but with socializing, learning to dance, or volunteering, is the best investment in your brain's health. You'll know what to do, instead of just surrendering to fate. And third, the power to be the architect of your own brain. This is the most important one. You'll realize that your brain's future isn't determined by your date of birth, but by what you do today. You are in control. Every book you read, every deep conversation you have, every new skill you attempt, you are acting as the architect, designing and building a stronger, more resilient brain for your future. To prove that creative peaks can come late in life, let's look at the story of a Hollywood legend, Clint Eastwood. Everyone knows Clint Eastwood as the iconic actor, the tough-as-nails cowboy with the piercing gaze. For decades, he was the star in front of the camera. At an age when most actors begin to retire or take smaller roles, Clint Eastwood did something radical. He didn't slow down. He moved behind the camera. He decided to become a director. Now, think about that for a second. Directing is a monumentally complex cognitive job. You have to be a leader, a manager, an artist, and a problem solver all at once. You're managing hundreds of crew members, directing actors, defining the visuals, and weaving thousands of shots into a coherent story. It's an immense mental challenge. And here's the most astonishing part. His greatest successes as a director, including winning the Academy Award for Best Director, came when he was in his 60s and 70s, for films like Unforgiven and $1 Million Baby. His brain wasn't declining. It was reaching a new peak of performance in a completely different field. He kept lifting weights with his brain by mastering the art of directing, adapting to new film technology, and telling complex stories. The story of Clint Eastwood is proof that retirement is an outdated concept. He never retired his mind, he just gave it a bigger challenge. His story teaches us that age is not a barrier to reaching new heights in life. As long as we keep learning and adapting, our brains will always be ready for the next adventure. So, the evidence is clear. The story of our brain isn't one of inevitable decay. It's a story of incredible potential, waiting to be unlocked at any age. Stop thinking of your brain as a candle, slowly burning out. Start seeing it for what it truly is, a construction site where you are the architect. You can always build something new, something stronger. So my question to you is, what new skill will you learn to start building today? Let me know in the comments below. If this message resonated with you, please share this video with someone you love who needs to hear it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that empowers you to build your best self. Thank you for watching and start building.